I think the colleges have started and it must be a very hectic day for you. How are you feeling so far in the MBA?
Yeah, so it's the second day of college and already stressed out.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really
How is the induction coming up?
yeah, induction happened last week, so it was great. It was great experience.
Okay, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
First person I have heard saying this, but all right. So let me introduce Keshav to you all. Keshav is my junior from IIM Calcutta actually, and he is 100 percentiler in IIFT and 99.95, right, in
Yes.
CAT. So you scored 99, like 100 in DILR in CAT, I think.
No, in IFT only.
In IIFT, all right. So Keshav is like the Brahma of DILR, and I thought I'd invite him. He gave CAT this year, and in his first attempt, he scored such amazing marks. And he's, I think, 19 years old. He's a 19
Yes, I'm
years.
19 right
He's a
now.
19-year-old kid who did what not many people can. And really, really proud to have you here, Keshav. If you would like to introduce yourself the way you will be introducing in your summer internship interviews, that would be fine.
So I think you told almost everything about me regarding the CAT and the IFT. So I would just say that see the CAT and all these things, this never mattered actually, because if you prepare well, if you do something really good, if you want something, you will get it. I believe in that thing. Yeah.
Of course. And apart from that, like, what do you like to do? What do you usually do? So you were a fresher when you wrote CAT, right?
Yes, I just completed my graduation. My last exam was actually on 3rd June only, Delhi University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were in which college?
Bhagat Singh College, Delhi University. Shahid
Which
Bhagat Singh
one?
College. Shahid Bhagat Singh
Shahid
College.
Bhagat Singh. Shahid Bhagat Singh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would really like participants to shoot their questions in the Q&A section. I have a few questions. I'll start. The first and the foremost, we would like to hear about your strategy and your preparation plan, which made you get such huge percentile. Probably not very. It must not have been very easy for you because your college was also going on. There was a lockdown going on. It was a difficult time for the whole world. So how did you manage that? How did you keep yourself calm? So if you would just, take us through the timeline, like I started here, then I went here, then I went here, then I went here. So step by step, if you could explain, that would be really helpful, Keshav.
Sure. So first of all, starting with the CAT itself, it's aptitude exam, as you all know. So aptitude exam, by its definition, means it doesn't ask you to be good, be awesome at anything, especially quantitative aptitude or LRDI. You don't need to do some advanced level stuff. It's how you generally perceive things, how you generally look at them, and how you tackle them, how you see them. So my preparation started with the mindset like it's just an aptitude, and if I just practice it, if I practice more, I will be able to build more and more of it, be good at it, be better at it every day. So one thing is that, another thing is like consistency. So even if you say I can take a day off, I can take a week off from this preparation, it doesn't matter. It will matter. Consistency is always required while preparing for any exam. If you are consistent, you will see the result each and every day. There's a yes, you were saying something.
No, yes, I agree with you completely.
Yeah. So
It's okay even if you study for 2 hours every day rather than
yeah,
studying one day for 10 hours and not studying at all for the whole week.
yeah, that's one thing. That's one of the major things that you must be consistent in your approach, you in your preparation. You must study every day, even if it's for just an hour or two. So that was my approach. I though I started my preparation, I joined a coaching institute a year ago from the CAT. But my main preparation, if I have to say, started when around 6 to 7 months back from CAT, around May, June time. After that, I gave it my whole consistent effort. As I'm saying, I used to study every day at least for an hour or two. So I used to read articles. I used to practice LRDS sets daily, even if I just practice 2 to 3 sets.
You started in June or May, June, right?
Yeah,
Around May, June.
the main preparation I started in May, June, but I joined my institute. I joined coaching a year ago.
Okay, okay. Okay, a year ago. So you were having the idea of giving CAT a year ago, right? That I
Yes,
want to give CAT. So you had thought of it. All right. And you're from a non-engineering background, right, Keshav?
yes, commerce background to be exact.
How did you manage to get like 99 plus in quants? Like, I think that is a question that bugs most of the non-engineers, that how do we go for maths? So we'll come to that later, since this session is more about DILR. We will
Yes.
focus on DILR first. But in my opinion, in my experience, if you do good enough in quants, DILR follows a bit. Like there is a correlation between the two of them. So you must have prepared very hard for quants as well as DILR. So we would want to know DILR first, and then you can just give some, preliminary tips about quants. So for DILR, what type of sources would you use? Like which coaching did you join first of all?
I joined EduCorp. It's a Chandigarh-based coaching institute, EduCorp
Okay.
consultancy. So they provided me all the material I needed. Though I can say you can also find the material online. You see in DILR, there's no specific set of material you need to study.
Okay.
Like in cons, you have the topics which you have to study. You have the
Mm-hmm.
questions. But in DILR, you can pick any set you like, any question you like, and solve it. It will still
Mm-hmm.
build your aptitude.
Of
So
course.
you can just simply even Google search it, Google search DILR questions of CAT level if you have to be exact. And start solving them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Hello.
So yeah, yeah, you
Yeah, yeah.
continue.
Am I audible? Yeah, yeah. So Keshav, but if you had to, give the guidance to the juniors, like, okay, solve this book, this book, this book, which of the top three books would, or top three coaching materials would you suggest?
Honestly, I didn't actually study any other book apart from the ones given to me by my institute.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, though I have heard Arun Sharma is quite good, but
Arun.
I personally didn't study it, so I can't give you my word for it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So only
So
your coaching material, EduComp, right? EduComp,
EduCorp,
EduCorp.
EduCorp.
So that was sufficient.
Yes, it was sufficient for me because the level I used to do it, they provided me everything, and even if I was done with the questions, they provided me with the extra set of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. Got it, got it. So we have a few more questions. We have a few more questions. What topics to cover in LR section? Major topics, like if you had to give out a list of top five, topics to cover.
Okay.
Is this
So
question answerable? I mean, like, what can we say are the top five topics?
actually, I would like to clarify one thing over here. There,
Mm-hmm.
there used to be one thing in earlier years that LR and DI used to be different,
Mm-hmm.
two completely different topics. So,
Mm-hmm.
but now what has happened is in LR you have to use DI, you have to interpret data to solve the logical
Mm-hmm.
reasoning questions, and in DI you have to use logical reasoning. So
Yes.
you can't really separate LR DI nowadays. So
Nowadays,
that's
yeah.
one, yeah, so that's one myth people think of. And yeah, and major topics, you can be asked anything, literally anything, even if it's a family tree, Venn diagram, games, anything you can be asked.
Mm, of course. But like we can go through the past papers, right, to just give a sort of an idea, like which topics were your strongest and which were your weakest, like let's say Venn diagrams or patterns, arrangements. So which ones did you need more practice for, and which ones came easy to you?
Honestly, I just picked up the set which came in front of me and I solved it. I didn't look at which topic it was. And there's
Okay.
another thing. See, if I could say that one person is good in game theory sets, like
Mm-hmm.
those sets. If
Mm-hmm.
you look at the slot three paper last year, that
Mm-hmm.
was my slot, by the way. So in
Mm-hmm.
that we got a games set, sports
Mm-hmm.
set, and it was a hardest set in the hardest set in the paper, in the section, and it was like unsolvable in that 40-minute time frame.
Okay.
So you can't really say that if I'm good in games topic, I will be able to crack that in the final section. No,
Okay.
that's not completely right. Yes, you may be able to do it faster than others, but you still have to keep an eye for the easy sets in general. Like in the slot three, DI completely. There was one set which is completely based on DI, and it was the easiest one.
Oh, okay. So how do we get an idea? Like the students have a question. How do we get an idea that just by looking at it, if this set is easy or not?
There are two things one can do. One is reading the first paragraph. Just the first
Mm-hmm.
paragraph, you get an idea how many constraints are there, how many variables are there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the next thing is looking at the length of question.
Okay.
So the game set I was talking about, it was around 2 page length. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you won't be going for that set in the as your very first set,
Of
maybe your
course.
second, third set, and
Mm-hmm.
you will actually first of all, what I would suggest to all the aspirants out there is
Mm-hmm.
just have a look at all the sets before starting one of them. Even if you think that it's an easy set, before
Mm-hmm.
starting it, just have a look at all the sets in your paper and
Mm-hmm.
then decide which one you need to go for or you should go first.
So, in short, you are suggesting that they should scan the paper first, get an idea,
Yes,
and then do this. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes,
The
of course.
scanning thing, yeah, the
Absolutely.
scanning thing wouldn't take more than a minute, but it
Yeah.
can save
A
several
lot of
minutes of your in
yeah.
that section.
Yes. Yes. Indeed. Indeed. So, okay. There is one question. Level sets during practice.
Can you please repeat? Your video froze for a second.
Okay. Did you solve very difficult sets or just easy and moderate level sets when you were practicing?
Of course, you have to solve difficult level sets because that's where you push your limits. And
Okay.
while solving difficult level sets, it's not that if you're not able to solve it in one or two goes, you look at the answer. No,
Mhm.
I would strongly not recommend that, because if you give time to those difficult sets and solve them by all the means,
Mhm.
you would be able to solve the easier sets much quicker.
Of course. Of course. Yes, yes, indeed, agreed. So, like, what type of sets did you find difficult when you started?
There are some sets in which there are so many variables you need to find
Okay.
out. Say in
Mm-hmm.
a Venn diagram set, there
Mm-hmm.
are like 10 variables you need to find out. Hello.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So say in a Venn diagram set, 10 is a very big number. Say if I had to find out even three variables,
Mm-hmm.
that will be a tougher set as compared to one in which I just need to find out one variable. So when you start pushing that limit by finding more and more, taking more and more difficult sets of the same topic, even
Mm-hmm.
that's where you learn more.
Mm. Yes. So, if there are more than one topics combined, that makes a set very difficult, right? Like, let's say
Yes,
there is an arrangement in which you have to find one variable through solving a Venn diagram or something. Like,
yes.
definitely, definitely. And did you prepare separately as much for IFT or ZAT or just for CAT, and that was sufficient?
See, I didn't prepare separately for IFT or Z except the GK section. Of course, GK section is the one section which is not there in CAT. So I
Mm-hmm.
prepared GK section only. Other than that, I didn't prepare anything extra for IFT or Z. It was all the same. Yeah, in that, if I talk about DM section was different, but if I talk about DILR section only, it was the same preparation, nothing separate required, nothing else you need to study.
Okay. So same preparation. So let's say Taniksha is asking when to start CAT preparation. Let's say if they start now, from now till the end, like when is the CAT this year? 29th November or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's last Sunday only.
Okay, last
Last
Sunday
Sunday.
of November. So what should be their game plan? Like taking all the three sections into consideration, how should they go about it? Let's say there is someone who is like you, who is a non-engineer, who also has to prepare for quants too. So how should they balance their time?
See, considering the time right now is just 5 months, almost 5 months
Mm-hmm.
left. So
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend giving more and more time, as much time as they can. At least
Mm-hmm.
4 hours a day, just to give,
Mm-hmm.
if you want a number, at least 4 hours a day, and keep like give it with consistency. Even if you're not able to divide the time, like in say if you're not able to study VARC today, but you are studying for 4 hours, be it any section, do that. And it's actually I would prefer saying doing that I study one section today, another section tomorrow, and the third section on the third day. You can do that as well, but study it with consistency. And I would also recommend studying it topic wise rather than studying it just like say seeing the time piece.
Mm-hmm.
That time-based method does not work after once you come at this stage.
Of course. So all right. There is one person who is asking. He's currently pursuing BMS, and should he start his preparation by the end of second year or in the third year itself?
Just to clarify, BMS is a Bachelor of Management Studies, right? Or
Yes.
it's in
Yeah, yeah.
medicals?
Bachelor of Management Studies. Yeah.
Okay. So, see, actually, my answer wouldn't have been different in this case. So, even if someone is from medical field, the answer will be same. But as I can get, he's still in. He has still started his second year. So I can say you can start around 9 months back. That will be the ideal time to start,
Okay.
which will be like Feb March ka time. So you can start around that time. That will be the ideal time. The more you want to practice, if you are sure that you want to go for MBA, you can start self-studying right now. Who's stopping you? Self-study now, and if you still find the need to join coaching, the coaching institute is not necessary. Just clarifying that part as well. Coaching institutes are not necessary, but
Of course.
they can be helpful in the way because they have gained an experience over time of solving the
Mhm.
same questions. They know which type of questions come and how you can tackle them easily or quickly. In that way,
Mhm.
coaching institutes are helpful, but you can also self-study. So self-study right now, if you find the need to go for a coaching, you can join it 7, 8, or 9 months back.
Yes. So even I didn't join a coaching. I had very little time on my hands, but it's fine. Like if you are consistent enough, which Keshav pointed out very correctly from the start itself, if you're consistently putting in some hours and not taking a break from your studies, the things will be fresh in your mind on the D-Day itself. So whatever topic, whatever section it be, it will just flow through your hands like butter. So Shirsh is asking an interesting question here. Uh, okay, okay, that's the first. His LRDI and VRC are going really well, but Quants is not going so well. Okay,
Okay.
so what would you suggest he should do?
See, if cons is not going well, I generally suggest one thing, that focus on your concept clarity. The more you tend to memorize formulas, it will create a difficulty for you because there will be one concept and 20, 30 formulas in that concept itself. So
Mhm.
if your concept is clear, you don't need to memorize formula. And if you're memorizing formula, the concept clarity will come rarely or at a very later stage.
Mhm.
Clear your concept, learn how the how the formulas are deriving. Basically, learn the derivation of formulas rather than learning the formulas itself. If you learn the derivation of formulas, you will know what's happening around in quants.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that was my strategy. I used to see. I was always curious since my childhood. I would say I was always curious how that formula comes from. Where did that formula came from?
Okay.
So if
So,
you're curious, yeah.
yeah, I can understand that, Keshav. Like that is how one should go. But I think it is easier said than done. I mean, like it's easy for people like you or me to say because we have done that. We have done that. But someone who already finds maths a bit scary to go from that non-formula learning zone into concept clarity zone. So how does that transformation take place is what we really want to.
Okay, so uh, let me just think of an example through which I can explain how that concept clarity can be better in a way than the
Hmm.
formula memorization and how you can learn concept much quicker.
Okay.
Okay, so uh, just say if I have a triangle, all of you know midpoint theorem, right? In a triangle, midpoint
I hope
theorem
so.
just yeah,
Yes,
sorry,
I hope so. I hope so.
yeah. So in a midpoint theorem, what does it state? That the if you join the midpoints of two adjacent sides, two sides of a triangle, the length of that line segment will be half the length of the down below line segment,
Yes.
opposite line segment.
The line joining the midpoints is half the opposite side.
Yeah, half the opposite side.
Yes.
From where did that come from? If you just think of it, see,
Similarity of triangles. They proved it.
similarity of triangles. So
Yeah.
if you know the similarity of triangle part, wouldn't that this be an easier topic to learn? That wouldn't midpoint theorem become easy to learn?
But see, there is a given time frame of 5 months now. So that is what is also there is a question regarding that we just have 5 months. They are panicking a bit. So yes, they need to learn the concepts and that's how they should do. But let's say they need to prioritize the topics. So which topics, which five would be the highest weightage or highest priority topics in quants according to you?
See, if I had to name the topics, I would say arithmetic, of course,
Arithmetic,
arithmetic,
yes,
algebra.
algebra,
These two are the most important topic which
of
one should
course.
never skip.
Mm-hmm.
And third comes the number system.
Number system, okay. Commercial mathematics,
Number system as in like knowing the percentages or knowing
okay,
the exponentials,
okay.
like playing
Mm-hmm.
with numbers basically.
Numbers, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So these three, I would say, are the most important topics. Geometry is also important, but seeing the weightage of it in CAT, it's lesser important than all these three topics.
Okay, fine.
So, and just to answer
Economically,
that question of 5 months, you were saying the 5 months is not an enough time. I'll just
yeah,
try. I'll just try to answer that. Okay.
okay.
Tell. Say there are just. I don't think there are more than 50 concepts in this quants section, right?
Yeah. Mm.
And considering you have 5 months, 30 days in each month, 150 days, and 50 topics. So if you are able to do one topic each and every day, one concept completely each and every day, you
Still,
still have
you
100 days. You still have 100 days left with you, in
that's
which
a
you can
really nice
practice.
point of view. That's a really nice. That's what I wanted you to say. I mean, like amazing. So Keshav here has given us a lot of hope that 150 days is enough to change the world. Why can't you write CAT? Everyone can. Definitely, definitely.
Of
So
course.
150 days, 50 concepts, one concept a day, still you have 100 days left, which you can practice and make it better. Right?
Yes,
Of
of
course.
course.
So
And
another question, how often did you take mocks as in frequency from July to November?
see, the mock preparation starts from say August. I would say August is
Hmm.
the ideal time to start your mocks. Start with
Hmm.
the basics one. Don't look at score.
Hmm.
That's one mistake everyone does. They look at scores, they panic, and one often thinks of giving up. It won't happen. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes what it is that say there's a mock which is of way too difficult level, and you score poorly in it. You think
Mm-hmm.
it's not possible for me to crack it. That doesn't make sense.
Of course.
Scoring low in a tough exam is a it's not a sense, and plus you're just preparing right now. You still have that 3-4 months with you. You have enough time, you have enough resources to prepare. Go practice. Just after giving mock, just look where did you go wrong, or if there was any quicker way to solve it. Even if you solved a question correctly in cons, you must look at the answer key. See
Yeah.
if you were thinking on the same lines, or was your method faster, or was your method slower. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you analyze more.
Yes, 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 of course. So, Simran is asking, look for a set first if you are able to solve or not. So, do we need to check the questions along the paragraphs, or because sometimes new facts are given in the questions, right? In DILR.
Yeah, I get it. See, to answer that, you don't really need to check questions. You can just look at the first question if you want. But before that, I think you should read the set first. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that to just the first or paragraph, or the if there's a table, that table makes the things way too easier. Like if you're given a table, you can actually judge quicker if the set is easier or tougher by just looking at the table, seeing how many variables need to be filled.
Mm-hmm. Of
So
course.
yeah, reading set is important rather than reading question.
Yeah,
Even if there are new
just by
facts,
reading the site, one can get an idea that if it is
yeah,
possible.
yeah. Just to answer the another part, even if there are new facts given in a question, that would actually be there to make a question easier, because they are
Mhm.
adding something to your to your knowledge base. Basically, that area where you are given the facts, it's adding facts to it. So it would help you fill the gaps in your set when you solve the question.
Yes, 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 of course. Uh, okay, should we solve? Okay, so did you solve previous year's CAT paper for DILR?
Yes, definitely I solved them, but there's a one more trick over here. Solve them around October and November only.
Okay.
Don't solve previous year like 4 to 5 year CAT exams before that. Firstly, give any n number of mocks you want to give, and then
Mhm.
solve the previous year CATs, because that will actually give you an idea where you stand.
Mhm. Of course.
Previous mocks are usually built at a tougher level than CAT. So when you
Mhm.
solve CAT, you will get a proper idea that where you stand right now.
Mhm. Yes. All right. So there is one more question. There's someone who scored 92.51 percentile last year. DILR 94, QA 86, VRC 87, and he is aiming for 99 percentile this year. And he wants to know some strategies from you which would really help to get him to 99 percentile in the next 5 months.
Okay, so again repeating the same thing for fonts, concept clarity. For
Okay.
VARC, read as much as you can, read as many articles as you can, books, anything you find. Just
Mm-hmm.
read more.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than solving RCs, read more, I would say. That
Mm-hmm.
reading will help you a lot. For DILR, practice as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But just guessing from his score, I can see his DILR is already at a decent level. So I would recommend him practicing QA and VARC more.
Okay. So, how did you manage your college classes with your CAT prep?
See, college classes used to happen in the daytime. So I used to prepare for CAT in the night time. It's all about time management. Plus,
Okay.
being it online, I was in the online class, so that also helped me. By the way, in in a way that when as soon as I got free from my college classes, from the online classes I used to have, I gave myself like an hour or two of leisure activities, and then I started preparing for my CAT. It's simple time management.
Yes, yes, makes sense, makes sense. So, hmm. So, any coaching classes you would suggest for 4 5 month preparations, because most of the coaching classes must have closed down on their admissions in April itself.
See, I just joined one coaching, so I can definitely, I mean, for QA and DILR, I can recommend Educore, and you may ask them. And if you wanna say for VARC section, I can recommend one more coaching. It's an online coaching called Word Pandit. Pandit. Word Pandit. It's an online website. You can check it. The guy is
Type
very
it down
good.
on the chat, that would be really helpful. Kesh.
Yeah, I can write. I'm just writing it down. You can check this website for VARC section in particular. The guy is very good. He gives you everything, all the resources you need for that 4 month preparation, 4 to 5 month preparation. He also takes live lectures. So yeah, I guess it will be enough for VARC preparation if anyone wants to start right now.
Okay. So, there is a very specific question here. How to solve questions on mixtures and allegations?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
How to solve questions on mixtures and allegations?
Mixtures and averages, I believe.
Yeah,
That's the question.
allegations. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mixtures.
mixtures and
This is
averages.
mixed into that. This.
Yeah. So mixtures and averages, see, that's a completely a concept. I can't teach you the concept right now, seeing the time constraint. But you, yeah, you can approach it in a similar way. Just revise a concept, just learn the concept, and start doing it. This actually it's a complete concept which you need to learn, and I can't teach you right there like that right now.
Okay. Yeah, but I think if you know numbers quite well, if you know how to take the average and all, so even without taking a pen and paper, a lot of questions can be solved if the data is good.
If I talk personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I strongly I would not never recommend it. But I solved QA questions in CAT exam using hit and trial.
Some of them do work, yes.
I
Uh,
solved like 50% of the questions using hit and trial. Never recommending it, but that comes with practice. So yeah, you can look at that. That's the thing which comes with practice. When you are good with numbers, you can easily find the pattern. The pattern recognition becomes better. So that just comes with practice. I can't really say anything in this field.
okay, so you need to put in more and more hours to really get to that level, right?
Yes.
Definitely. Amazing. Amazing. So, all right, Keshav. Last 4 questions I'll take. I won't take too much of your time. You must be tired, definitely. This is to 5 months before the CAT. Now, what if someone starts preparing very, like, maybe he is having a job or something, and does not have a lot of time. He gives a notice 1 month before the CAT and starts preparing for that 1 month. He has given an attempt before. What can be his strategy?
If you have given an attempt before, you must be knowing the concepts throughout.
Yes,
You
but
must be
he
knowing
prepared
how.
so well, so his confidence is also a bit shaken.
So see, one thing is concept, because in that 1 month you can just work on your concept revision. It's not enough time to solve more and more questions. You can just work on your concept revision and give some mocks, 1 or 2 mocks, not too many mocks as well. I have a friend of mine who converted Ahmedabad this year with almost zero to like say one 10 days preparation. she had given an attempt before, and she just went. She knew the concepts. She just revised some of them and went straight into the exam hall. But there's one thing which was different with her. It was a calm mindset. She did not worry even if she scored high or low. She just went there, gave her best, and came out. And when she received the score, she got, I guess, 99.82 percentile. And yeah, so even if you're working, just go there with the calm mindset. You still have your job in your hand, and I would not recommend you to quit before giving CAT, because that's where you get to know your level. If you have an idea if your exam went well or not. So don't. I would recommend not to quit your job. There, of course, there might be another reasons. But if you're just quitting your job because of MBA, quit it after giving CAT or after receiving your results. You still have enough time. You have 4 to 5 months, and
Mhm.
notice period is usually 1 month, 1 or 2
Mhm.
months.
Yes, 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 makes sense. All right. Last three questions now. Okay. How important it is to learn, synonyms and antonyms in VRC?
For CAT specifically, no, it's not important. It's good if you have the knowledge, but it's not at all important. For
Mm-hmm.
other exams, say IIFT, ZET, and all of those,
Mm-hmm.
it might be important. Yes, it is important. But even if you don't know, you can survive. But it's recommended you learn them.
Mm-hmm. And okay, are there any free sources available for mocks?
Uh, See, if you want to take basic, just you can actually, there's one trick. You can go to each and every website or the institute, and they usually offer 1 to 2 free mocks. You can give that, and by doing that, you would be giving like 10, 15 mocks, like just like that. And another thing is previous year CAT exams. They all are available for free. You will find them on different websites, so you can give that, and that should be enough, I guess.
Okay. All right. One more question. Questions are popping up now since I said the last three questions. Yeah. So, in your opinion, which is a better option? Going for the college placements if you have a good profile in your UG itself, or appearing for CAT in the fresher time itself, or maybe take some work experience and then appearing for CAT.
That's a completely personal choice. That's
Yeah,
relative to
given the
one.
profile is good, like 998, 999, plus some
Yeah,
extraordinary PRs, extraordinary achievements.
I understand, but that's completely on one person's perspective, how they wanna proceed with it. For
Okay.
some, going directly to MBA, being a fresher, makes more sense. Like in a way, they give arguments like, yes, I am currently into studying. If I get into WorkX, I might not be able to get to that level of study which I am right now. So I will just pursue MBA. And for another, it's like that I want to gain some experience before learning more about management, more about business. So
Mhm.
that's completely your own perspective. If just there are a lot many factors which affect the decision. It's completely on you. You decide which what you want to do.
Okay. No, but like, just if we wanted your opinion on it, like, what would you have done? You wrote CAT in your final year. What
Yes,
if you
I
were to get placed in a good institute and then maybe attempt CAT again? You know. So.
I okay. I had placement in my hand. I did take placement, but it was
Mhm.
always a backup for me because I knew I personally have to do an MBA before getting into that job profile,
Mhm.
before getting a work ex, because I know that I was clear about my like aim, or I would say how I need to proceed, and
Mhm.
in that procedure MBA came first before work ex.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yes.
definitely sit for placements, gain an interview experience. You can always reject that placement if you even if you want to proceed MBA.
So thank you so much for your time, Keshav. Any final advice you would like to give the future aspirants? The things which they should or they shouldn't do on the day of the exam, or maybe during the preparation. Anything you would like to add on what
As
we have
I
discussed?
Yeah, as I earlier mentioned, keeping a calm mindset is the one and the foremost thing while giving your exam on the D
Hmm.
day. If CAT is something which does not decide your future, it's just a
Of course.
part of it. It does not decide your future. Even if you are not able to clear it in this go, you have another attempts. You have unlimited attempts to it. Go for work X. You always had that option. Even if you have to take gap year, you can always do some course building, skill building, so you can go for that. But keeping a calm mindset matters. I have seen people who were good in QA, but just because this year DILR was very tough. It was
Hmm.
a toughest section in I guess for all the three slots, that
Hmm.
they were not able to score high. They were
Hmm.
not able to score good in QA, even if they knew that the answers were, if they were able to, if you give them on a normal day, those QA questions, they would have done that. But
Hmm.
just because they weren't sure in DILR and that didn't went good according to them. I'm just talking about it. According to them, the DILR section did not go good, and they messed up the QA section as well. So
Yes, yes, that happens. That's quite normal.
yeah, so if you have a calm mindset, even if a section goes bad, you can always cover for it in the next section.
Of course.
Keeping a calm mindset is important. So that's my parting tip.
Yes, yes. Yeah, actually, I can really vouch to this fact because when I wrote CAT last year, last year in 2020, so I had the slot two, which was the toughest slot of all the three slots, and it had difficult DILR and difficult quants both. So looking at the DILR paper, I was like, okay, what is this? What has happened now? And for like I started the paper, and in no time at all, I saw okay, 2 minutes left. I didn't know what I had solved, what I had not. I didn't even remember the number of sets I have solved, and I just started with quants. So I was in a panic mode. I didn't know what I had done in the DILR. So I started solving, and I don't know. I took like a minute or two to gain my composure, and then I started. So coincidentally, both the DILR and quants went pretty well for me also in the CAT. So yes, the calm mindset always helps. And whatever section you think is going difficult for you, it must be going difficult for the whole nation. It's not an
Yes.
absolute exam, it's a relative grading, it's a competitive exam. Just keep that in mind. And with those golden words, I would like to take a break, and we'll meet again soon. I hope you really follow through our advice, Keshav's advice, in fact, because he is more in touch with CAT than I am, and really get it going now. So since it's 5 months now, you also know that it's a less amount of time. So you need to push even harder for the same. So thank you, goodbye, and Keshav, thank you for your time. I hope we meet soon. I think I'll be coming to IIM Calcutta. You know,
And
I'll let you.
thank you.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye.
everyone.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel.